No matter what interest, hobby or sport you're interested in, we all have to start at the beginning. By pooling away various different resources, it can make the journey of becoming better at our intended subject that much easier. With today's subject, of course, being none other than Dota 2. For this video, I present 3 books I hold in very high regard for good material as not just good reads and making you a better player, but potentially changing your entire aspect and viewpoint on not just Dota, but how you approach various other tasks in life. I'll give a brief overview of what the book itself is about, as well as what I personally believe is the benefit of reading the book itself. The Art of Learning is a wonderful book about becoming better, improving, and working on personal growth. Josh Watkin is a former chess champion that explains his tenure with chess throughout the book. But what really sets the book apart is how Watkin proceeds to explain how he picks up another hobby, Tai Chi, which becomes pivotal for both his love and enjoyment of both sports. As he picks up Tai Chi, he finds that there's suddenly something a lot more in common with chess than he had initially thought, and, much like he states in the book itself, he feels like he personally breaks a barrier that makes the two subjects flow into one another, reaching an overlap which in turn improves both of them in the process. This phenomenon is nothing new in particular, and happens to a lot of people in video games too. For instance, quite a lot of people who come to Dota from StarCraft will often have a fascination with micro-heavy heroes, and seem to have a natural knack for controlling them. Exactly because there's an overlap from the game they came from, and the one they're now getting into, despite them being fundamentally different. This approach of having various activities, sports and hobbies and let them organically build a connection between them is what the Art of Learning is all about. As Watkin so aptly said in the book itself, he realized that, in the end, it was neither chess nor Tai Chi that he ended up being the best at, but rather explaining the art of how to learn from his example. I highly recommend the book for those that want a good read, and it might just inspire people to use what they already know and apply to Dota more aptly. No doubt the book that has molded my viewpoint on Dota, especially how to perform in the pub environment of the game. Playing to Win is, as David Sirlin states in the book's prologue, dedicated to winners and those who strive to win. Playing to Win is a book about the essence of winning, and doing everything in your power to achieve it. For many individuals, this is a very tough read to go through, but one I highly recommend all the same. It's not tough because of the vocabulary that Sirlin uses, but rather the amount of pure self-study and character assessment the book asks of you. Sirlin is a former Street Fighter II champion, and at the time of the game's height, he was known rather notoriously for consistently picking the highest tier characters available and utilized the very moves that made them so consistently. Sirlin goes on to explain his reasoning for doing this and why he believes it's in the best interest of the players to do everything in their power to win. The game that you play knows no rules beyond the ones that are stated. You can play as flashy or as an underrated character as you want, but if you lose the game, you lose the game, and that's all there is to it. The book also goes thoroughly in depth about the many struggles that people go through in order to even get remotely good at the game or activity of their choice, stating that many times there are so many mental barriers that people have to break through before they can finally either invent or reinvent themselves and truly reach a skill position. In Sirlin's words, things like playing lame or being a one-trick pony doesn't matter. And in the book he tries to tear down this mental prison some people create for themselves where playing certain styles or characters in a game isn't something that should hold you back. If you want to change your viewpoint on Dota 2 pups and are willing to open yourself up to have to change some potentially negative sides of yourself in regards to playing the game, I cannot recommend Playing to Win highly enough. Even more, the book can be read entirely for free online on Sirlin's own website. So even if you're short on cash for a paperback version, there's no excuse to take a gander at a few chapters and see if Sirlin's words are some that will resonate with you on a personal level, and change how both you play and view Dota as a whole. Ah yes. Often regarded as one of the most, if not the most important book on stratagem and warfare of all time, also having been memed into oblivion, is Sun Tzu's Art of War. I recommend the book in a completely unironical manner, however. The Art of War is what I would consider an essential read for anyone wanting to improve themselves, especially in the realm of Dota 2. Sun Tzu was a very prominent general and strategist during the Eastern Zhou period in China, and most people nowadays will have heard of his name, or more so the title of his book, The Art of War. The book explains the many stratagem, thoughts and decisions that a general has to make on the field they find themselves on, by coming with many different examples on what to do when various conditions are met. While you have to look at it in a bit of an abstract way, it's safe to say that the vast majority of the book itself can easily be applied to Dota as a whole. Many of the sayings and teachings of the book are some I still use to this day as a way of playing the game. Given that the text was originally in Chinese, you'll find that the English versions of The Art of War are filled with quotes and verses by Sun Tzu, distilled to their essence and given life in paper form. This means that the book is both a short and a powerful read, since pages are crammed with pure knowledge and intent on the specific subject that's being covered in regards to battlefield stratagem, anywhere from positioning to attack to defense. If you pick up the book, read through it, and play Dota alongside what you read with the book itself, I can almost guarantee that the wise words of Sun Tzu will all flow together and you'll be emboldened by the text from The Art of War. Like David Sirlin's Playing to Win, there's websites with the book's free content if you want to read through it. Links which I've provided within the description of this video. For those who like to learn on the fly, there's also YouTube videos that have voiceovers over the text, so you can have the sweet, soothing stratagems of Sun Tzu whispered straight into your consciousness for continuous improvement. There is plenty of material out there for improving on DotA, so I wanted to cover the literary one with this video. I highly encourage people to at least briefly check out these books and see if the words within them will resonate. Just because you're not actively playing DotA doesn't mean that you can't improve mentally at it. As always, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the content, you can follow me and be notified of more weekly DotA videos in your YouTube feed. I can also be seen live at twitch.tv/FabKibashi from Monday to Friday. Have a splendid day, and I hope you're able to lean back and enjoy some powerful texts that's going to improve your DotA 2 in the long run.